It's a best of 3 down here in the bottom left side, representing Storm Gaming. It's Gerald. And the opponent doing a very far forward proxy barracks, which of course has not been scouted. This is Storm Gaming Special. This is a best of 3 series played in the ESL Weekly North American Cup. I'm casting it live as the tournament's being played. If you're watching it live on Twitch, though, there is 2-minute delay between this video feed going out, as that's part of the rule for these online tournaments. Make sure people can't cheat. So while we're just looking at the opening here, it looks like Gerald playing Nexus before Core. Oh my god, a greedy opening, despite going up against a 1 base. So this is going to be very hard for Gerald to not lose like 3 or 4 probes. I think the Reaper can jump up there. I'm not sure. I'm never sure. I think definitely the left side is blocked off. I don't know about the right side. Either way, that Reaper definitely could get a couple of workers. Now, Gerald builds a Zealot to try and buy time. Starts a second pylon, will continue probes. And his probe on the other side is going to harass at the same time. There was a question that popped up, by the way, that I like answering questions in the early game. This one's going to be pretty intense, but if it settles down, I'll answer it. What are some easy level ups to think of while playing for a low diamond Protoss? I don't know what you mean by level ups, like just like things you can do to improve as a player. Oh, yeah, as I said, that's not fully walled off there. Oh, does hit the pylon twice. Takes a Reaper just 5 hits to kill a probe, and he's going to get 1. Oh, that Zealot just idling in the natural. Big mistake here for Geralt, guys. Big mistake. The Zealot's meant to make this so much harder for the Reaper because he's got to worry about that unit attacking him. The Zealot's just idling off to the right side. His probe died on the other side of the map, and the Zealot there not doing its job. So it's going to be 2 Reapers, and then the barracks will float home. And he's going to go a reacted factory behind it. Looks like maybe a pylon built there, or the probe was hanging around blocking the factory. So Special's just going to finish off his wall off with depots. He'll start a starport and a command center on location. The Reapers are going to run back in. Oh. So what are some ways you can level up? You're a low diamond Protoss player. You got to diamonds. So you've really figured out most of the basics of the game. Chances are, though, you're still very loose as a player. What I mean by that is, like, your game plan, you're going to be like, well, I kind of make this sort of unit sometimes. There's always things I tell people whenever I start coaching them, and this is probably just going through this process makes, like, every diamond player 1,000 times stronger at improving. That's funny, he landed that and built a 3rd Reaper. That process is write down on a piece of paper, notepad, whatever, Microsoft Word, whatever the fuck you use these days. I'm a Google Doc guy. That's Reapers. Oh, nope. Force field doesn't manage to trap him, and he hits his own Zealot. Write down what your game plan is. Now, that means write down your opening build order, but also write down kind of what your composition is. What composition do you go for in a standard game? That's one thing you can do. It's what pros always know, what their compositional goal is. And only people go, oh, but I need to see what my opponent does first. That's already really bad, guys. You should have a standard game plan. And yeah, you can have reactions to things where you, okay, in this scenario, I swap my composition. But in the absence of knowing exactly what your opponent's doing, or if they're doing something confusing, you should always have like one baseline style that's pretty good against everything, right? Marine, Marauder, Medevac, Siege Tank, right? Just a solid composition in just about every matchup, right? It's a Charge Lot of Mortal Archon. I'm gonna, look for big mid-game pushes if I can on their 3rd base, right? These are like, plans that are pretty damn generic and good in many situations. But hold that thought, guys. That's 3 Reapers and 4 Hellions. He's going to bounce those units out of the wall. Oh, he's going after the probes. They're mighty stacked right now. He's got to go after the big clumps, though. I wouldn't mind him going into the main. He's got enough Hellions to bust right through just about anything. Good force field to buy time. Oh, okay. Does kill the sentry. That's a valuable unit to take there. But the probes are kind of blocking him. I feel like Special... He's getting good damage, but this is a big investment. He needs a lot of damage, Just that alone is not going to instantly win him the game. I mean, I think it's enough. Don't get me wrong. 15 probes, pretty fantastic. A Banshee came in the natural. That should get out of there. I was not expecting the Observer to already be on him. He's going to lose it. Geralt, some very nice D on the Banshee. Does have a 3rd Nexus coming up. So I would argue this is not game over. Geralt wisely not replacing gas probes just yet. He's just chrono boosting probes on minerals. He's got a chrono probes for a little while, and if he can defend the Banshees, there is a big lull in this build for Special, right? 2 barracks, 3 barracks, starport, factory on the way. But Stim, miles away. 3rd barracks producing miles away. He's got a tank and a handful of unupgraded Marines. He's not going to be able to push across the map with that. As long as Geralt hits 3 probes at a time for the next minute or 2 and chronos them, he'll be good. Starts up probes on that 3rd. I wouldn't mind him getting a shield battery back here to guard from the Banshees, potentially. He's got an Observer trying to track that Banshee. Oh, very well done. And you notice Geralt's just clicked it on the Banshee. Oh, he actually sees it go to the left, and he's like, that's fine. I've already got one there. And the Stalkers are going to wait till the Banshee gets in deep before they show themselves. They want to kill the Banshee. So they want to wait for it to come in, past the point of no return. Now, Special can see that Observer following him. So he's just going to hold position on the edge, see if he can range that pylon. Stalkers will come forward and try to get at him. But only 2 probes being built at a time. Gerald, you got 500 minerals, only 42 workers. You can get back in these games, guys, but you've got to chrono probes non-stop off 3 next time. This has been, honestly, one of the biggest problems I've noticed in pro players in recent months is players not hitting that probe key hard enough after taking damage. Now, that's actually... Okay, Gerald's just way smarter than I thought he had another minute, guys. I didn't think he'd be pushed till 8 minutes. Somehow Special is already moving across the map and has a 3rd CC. So Gerald actually did cut probes at the right time because he realizes I need gateways in charge. Much wiser man, much more knowledgeable man than I am. Now, where's that Observer for Gerald? It's not there. Sees the army coming down the right side. He's got to get over there, but he's going to just rely on his shield battery to defend this Banshee, which I guess is enough. These Marines don't really have many upgrades yet. Charge and an Immortal should be fine here to hang off for now. 1 tank and a couple of units. The Banshee is going to run out of energy, and that Stalker will get a few hits on it on the way out. He's going to scan Observer. Ooh, does get out of there. You know what, guys? Now Gerald, he's got to either keep focusing on units and look to crush this push. That's where he gets an advantage with a big good fight, or go back to probing. Now he's going to do a little... Okay, he's going to go back to probing and start Blink. I actually think in this scenario, he might need to go straight Colossus. As much as skipping Blink sounds ridiculous, he's so far behind after that damage early. I don't know, man. It feels like Special's probably just going to be able to bowl him over. He's got like a decent Zealot count. Special can click on that battery. Oh, battery overcharge does get baited out. He unburrows his Widowmines to make sure they don't just shoot on 1 or 2 Zealots. Oh, one of them, they both go down before they can fire. But, great micro. Look at the way Special's letting a few Marauders stay up front to tank against the Zealots. His Marines pull back. Most of those are alive. His rally's a little weak, though. He doesn't have the strongest rally. Obviously, still only on 3 barracks that are non-stop producing. His bio, though, is coming on in. We don't mind. Kills the Prism. That's big. That's big. If he could scan the Observer down, that would be really nice as well. But that's it. It's going to be game. It's 4th and 5th barracks. They'd finished. He hadn't built the add-ons on them yet. But a great opening for Special. 4 Hellions, 3 Reapers. Gets the damage. All right. Straight into map 2. Bottom right side. Or the right side, I should say. It is Gerald. And over in the left, it is Special. Especial. So, back on that question, how do I improve as a diamond player? That last game kind of lit up the action a bit too fast. Figure out what composition you want to play as standard, and this goes for all races, and write down some of your common attack timings. And you want to do this for each matchup. So, some people get to diamond kind of playing the same in every matchup. They haven't really clearly thought about what their different openings, builds, compositions, attack timings, what are those strategic lines looks like in each matchup. You want to think of it as 3 completely separate game plans. PvP, PvZ, PvT. You want to write down your opening, your composition, some potential attack timings that you can look for to try and kill your opponent that are decided even before the game starts. Those options are just always there and they're commonly available to you, right? Oh, I like to go with 3 Immortals and 16 Zealots and 3 Archons plus 1 attack at the 8-minute mark off of 60 probes, 4 gases, right? Defining your attacks like that, knowing where your economy cuts off and you focus purely on army, and then you can benchmark roughly what time that normally hits at 8 minutes 30. And you can tell, oh, I hit early, I hit late. You can understand, oh, is there a valid reason for that? We both damaged each other a lot early with some harassment, so fair enough. Or maybe it was a really passive game, yet you hit late anyway just because you messed up your macro. So basically defining your plans allows you to refine your plans. So define and refine is a common saying I tell everyone. If you don't know what the fuck you're trying to do, there's no way to improve in StarCraft. And a lot of people, they look at improving as I need to learn how to deal with everything my opponent throws at me. And I always say you can't learn to deal with what your opponent's throwing your way until you learn how to execute your baseline game plan. So that's kind of the big trick there. Now, reactive first for Special this time around, guys. As the depot goes down. Oh my god! Gerald is actually going to build a pylon right there. Is he going to do it? Proxy gate? Why here? Proxy, is this good? It's not going to be 2-base proxy void ray, is it? Oh my god, there is a proxy void ray build off 2-base. He might be going for that. It's like a big gamble for Gerald. So yeah, write your build orders out in detail, guys. Once you've defined all that, go back to your opening as well, and then define exactly the rest of your build. It won't be as tight as your opening, where it's like 20 supply, drop a depot. but you can absolutely define your build order. Like, okay, make sure I go to the command center first, then I add my 3rd, 4th, and 5th barracks, then I drop my double engineering bay. Have a set order you do your build in every game so it becomes really consistent and really tight. And so that you're always kind of doing things in a similar order. So everything, you'll learn to line things up and improve your build if you do that. A lot of players never try to kind of get more consistency in their play, and they wonder why they don't improve. And I always say, you know, if you don't improve your consistency, how are you going to get better? Like, it's so hard to even figure out what you did right and wrong in a game. Now, this Adept needs to not lure him down to the south. Gerald, do not lure him down there. Does get out of range, but he almost lures that in vision. That was kind of sloppy with the Adept. I would have gone straight to the right and... Dude, if he sees it... Oh, this is so ridiculous. He's going to go across with his Marines, trade into 3 Adepts and a shield battery. And Gerald, uh-oh, kills a Marine. He's just trying to kill the Marine count so the Void Rays can win the game. Oh, that Adept's going to go down to the Hellion, I think. Shade's back a little bit, but I think the Void Ray battery might just kill. It's crazy, dude. He's got an Adept there. Could have got a hit or 2 off there. Does have 1 more Adept. Where is it? It's in the main. Oh, he full walls the natural to stop the Hellions getting in. Void Ray comes in, clicks on the reactor, immediate cancel and builds a Viking. Luckily, he has a Widow Mine almost ready. So he's going to pull SCVs to try and keep the reactor alive for a little bit. I do think 3 Marines. Obviously, if the Widow Mine hits, that'll be huge. Oh my god, he gets the hit. He can heal up on the battery, of course, and go for that reactor. These guys not really doing much. They will depower the pylon, which means no more warpins, and he's going to recall that Void Ray. So it's a Void Ray looking for the reactor, fucks up the build a bit for special, kills an SCV or 2. Void Ray will now defend the wall off. Building another pylon there. That's only going to power these 2, so I guess he cancels this top gateway now. Yeah. There we go. Does cancel the gateway. Hellion has been driven off for now. Where's the Oracle, guys? Did he just lose it? Oh, shit! He just lost the Oracle! Oh, he flew the Oracle in, and the Viking killed it! Oh, my lord, that's really bad for Gerald. I didn't even realize. I assumed he wouldn't fly it in. Widowmine's going to make sure this gets shut down. Special is going to go Magfield as well? I don't think he even needs to, but he's going to go for Magfield. Probably just a big Marine Cyclone Viking push. Not my favorite push in the world. I think Protoss can definitely defend it in some scenarios, but it's probably going to hit before Blink is even done. Or right around the same time. There won't be that many Stalkers. There's 1 Stalker, 1 Void Ray right now. Not the best army comp here for Gerald. Okay. Stalkers. Gonna pull back to the high ground. There's a shield battery there. He's got to heal that. Oh, he should have focused the Cyclone, man. Any hits on the Cyclone is pretty massive. There's no detection for Geralt right now, so you almost want to bring a probe down. Let the Widowmine blow up on it and go from there. Check it out. 2 Vikings are gonna go land in his main base. His Void Ray's up there though. His Void Ray, if it prismatically aligns on the Vikings, like right after they land, that's perfect for Geralt. Geralt, he's microing the front right now. His Void Ray has not reacted. Geralt tunnel visioning. It's late at night over there in Poland, and Geralt is going to lose a lot of probes because of that. Now, the Void Ray can beat them if it prismatically aligns. Yeah. Takes out these Vikings pretty handily. And we'll be able to go back to mining. Looks like a few more Marines got picked off at the front, but that's very good damage still. 5 probes, mining time. I think that's fine. Special's got his 3rd up on location. He's going mech. He's trying to play mech behind this. Mech. I don't... Mech is not great, but the Magfield definitely scales into that pretty well. This map's pretty good for mech pushes. He does a little Marine drop in the main. Oh, Special doing a lot with a little right now. Oh, he's such a beast. He accidentally hits the assimilator there. He's going to click on the pylon, and I think as Blink kicks in, this will get shut down, but he will at least depower all of those upgrades and that. And Cyclones come in, and he does blast right through shield battery overcharge. He's got to kill the overcharge, man. The Marines are like, that's fine. We're just going to go in the mineral line now. Our time is done. I'm playing mech. I don't need these Marines no more. Widowmine looks like got a hit there. His Cyclones retreat to repair. And I think that was a very good decision by Special to keep the Cyclones back. Repair those up. He's up to 3 factories. He's going to go 4th and 5th. He's mostly just building Cyclones right now. I don't really like this building placement, but it is what it is. If he goes there and there, his tanks are going to have to go all the way around. So we've got Charge, Templar, Archives on the way. He's going to try and go Psystorm. I don't think he realizes he's up against mech. Otherwise, you'd probably want to robo out by now because Cyclones can obviously have an armory and then Widow Mines added to that, as well as a few other things. The Stalkers are going to wait in the dead space. So Geralt's kind of like banking on some sort of air harass coming in. He sees all those Cyclones. He's got to realize it's mech now. Do we see a response from Geralt? Does he drop a robo? I mean, obviously he's in it on a bit of a budget, playing with lower supply, but there's always a chance to come back because mech is so slow to build up. And it's really slow to kind of just build up that power. And as a result, usually the mech player gets ahead by just taking more bases. So I think taking a 4th base for Geralt definitely would be a good idea. He's building quite a few cannons and batteries. I think he's worried about getting pushed on the front. Makes a robo there. Once again, really shit Sim City for Geralt, guys. He's going to have to kill that battery or he's going to have to go all the way around through the mineral line. So not a big fan of how he's placed his buildings. It would be good if he catches the barracks, but notice it's sitting up there on the pillar. So it might actually not be spotted unless there's actually an observer there. As chunky as it looks, if it's sitting right above the pillar, I don't think units will be able to see it. Now he's going to look for a pounce here. Gotta be careful. Cyclones are very vulnerable. Blinking on top, though, would be crazy dangerous, man. Oh, he blinks back. He's running. He's like, oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, the Cyclones will kill him so quickly. Stalker's going to try and come down. Cyclone's trying to head on back there. Stalker's looking for it. Oh, he's got to get out. Geralt, get out. Okay, the scan's a little slow there for special. Doesn't keep the lock. Hellions get blocked by a sentry. Very nice defense there. Oh, Hellions going down. Okay, Stalkers are still roaming. He's got a 4th going up in the top right, but I honestly feel like, yeah, he's got to be so careful, man. There go 3 Stalkers. He's going to grab a Cyclone. Grabs 2 Cyclones. Cyclones are very expensive, guys. Keep in mind, they're way more pricey than Stalkers. So far, pretty good micro for Geralt. I just don't think he got the gateway count up big enough, early enough. Oh, he's got Psystorm, which can help. He's going to battery overcharge. Zealot's very good against Cyclones just for tanking and charging on top of them. But you do need to have the numbers. Oh, great. Psystorm there. That was a lovely Psystorm. He does weaken all of them. He's trying to use the Prism to pick up those weak units. I think he'll clear this army and be okay. One more round of Zealots and jumping on that army would be huge. Another great Storm. It's still so close. More Stalkers. He's going to go for the Stalkers, the range units here. He's trying to break the lock-ons with the Prism. Great micro by Geralt, trying to hang on with the inferior unit count. Of course, he's so far behind on supply, though. Special can keep trading like this for days. If you could just get rid of this pack of Cyclones and reassert control, Geralt would be able to start trading really well, but it's not going to be enough units to stabilize, and he just barely defends, each wave, but he never pushes the wave back, and that means Special's able to be so annoying. The Stalker's going to try and blink on top. He gets a few of those Cyclones, does lose a few Stalkers for it, but there's more where that came from. He's up on, of course, 7 factories. The Stalkers, oh, that was a very dangerous blink. I think he blinks forward now. I think, honestly, you turn and try to hit the Cyclones, but... So there we go, guys. He's on 7 factories. I'd love to see more factories. He's building mass command center right now. Is Special. 94 SCVs. If he can just get 1 Hellion run by in a mineral line or something like that, or pick off a Nexus in the top right with 4 Cyclones, that would be huge. Now, people were still continuing that ongoing discussion we're having about how do you improve, right? People saying, well, I'm kind of confused. Like, yeah, you can write notes, but what do you do with those notes? Do you, like, review them? Well, those notes inform what you're trying to do in the game. You should be watching your replays always, guys. You guys will... I spend a large amount of my time playing and learning Age of Empires, watching my replays. And how... Well, it's like, well, what do you do with those notes? Like, you don't even need... I don't even review them much. I mean, you guys should, because you're not going to be as efficient as me at keeping everything in your brain in terms of what you're trying to achieve. But it gives you a set of goals. So then you can look at your replays and go, am I actually doing what I'm planning to do? And what you're going to find is most of the time you're not following your game plan. You're going to be like, oh, things happening. You're going to start doing random shit with no plan. So the whole point is then you can go, okay, no, I should follow my plan. Or my plan's not working. How can I change my plan? It gives you direction to actually focus on things rather than just doing things at random. Speaking of fucking amazing holds, Geralt is actually holding on pretty well, guys. Stalkers will defend the Hellbats in the top left. Oh, he storm drops all over the Cyclones. He's actually doing pretty good with the storm drops, guys. Geralt might be able to hang on. He's on 72 probes. Yeah, his army's very small. It's not all that big or anything. Usually against this style, by the way, ideally, he would have been Zealot run buying and warping in Zealots in the main this whole time. And hitting the economy and forcing Special to micro in many areas. Because it's always been a one-directional fight, it's probably the worst situation where if Gerald at all, at any moment, had any numbers, he'd be able to flank this with Zealots or something, and that might win him the game, but he's so far behind right now that he's just hanging on for dear life. And I mean, because there's no BC transition or anything, I mean, Special's not in the most amazing position. He also keeps making vehicle weapons, which doesn't really help Cyclones, because it doesn't help their mag field. It only helps their regular attack, which is kind of their beta attack. It's not the main plan. And he's still trading well enough here. He's only down 1 or 2,000. Disruptors. Oh, not the best micro from Gerald. Clumps them up a little bit, but I think he can clean this up now. Stalkers on the right, trying to blink back to the batteries, and Army from the left sandwiches. And this is what I was talking about. The moment you sandwich Cyclones, they don't look that good, guys. They do not look that good. Also, Archons take forever for Cyclones to kill. Because they're not armored units, look at how long it takes Cyclones to actually kill the Archons. The Archon survives. Geralt makes the supply look kind of close. He's got a 5th base on the way. He's making Stalker Disruptor, which is the ultimate stall-out composition verse mech. Very hard to push in and actually kill a player who's got the Disruptors just constantly throwing those balls out, scaring you back. Those Stalkers should have blinked back a little quicker, but he does manage to get out of range of the lock-on. He was in vision, but out of range that time. Archon might go down. Nice scan. Ooh, dodges the Disruptor shot and immediately on the warpath, trying to chase him down is Special. Geralt there. Dude, this is so annoying. He's got to warp in a few Zealots, I think. He's going to send some Zealots around the top, but Planetary is going to be up there. And this is what I was saying, like, you want to be doing this earlier and stopping this mass expansion going down. But Special is just swamping him. And he's swapping into tanks, so that +3 vehicle weapons will come in big once he does that. Quick recall on the Zealots after trying to force these units up there to deal with it. Stalkers, I think he's going to blink forward this time around. He does. He goes for it, but more Cyclones from the south. Oh, he's going to try and go for the Widow Mines. He gets only one of them, and I think that's just a bit too much, Terran. Overextension from Geralt. He's losing Arc on Stalkers, Disruptors, all these expensive units. That's a good shot. But he's got to be so careful with this. Dude, the scans are just endless. Special's got so many orbitals up that he can always scan. So the high ground, all it does is forces a scan. And Special's like, well, I have 300, so I honestly don't care. I can scan for days, man. Ooh-wee. Okay, shield battery's going to go down. That base, it's going to go down as well. That gold base always so vulnerable, isn't it? Oh man, he's got Hellions and Widow Mines there. It's still that moment. If Hellions dive in this mineral line, kill 10 probes, like, it's game over. Oh man, uh-oh, the cannons. Oh, good warp in, he blocks it. He does block the warp in, but there's more Hellions where that came from. He's going to kill. Even a few probes is massive for Geralt, who obviously has been in a fragile situation. He's going to get 8 probes, maybe 9 before he goes down. 8 probes, it does end up being the final tally. Hellion there. Just put a Hellion behind the mineral line. Even that causes big problems for Geralt. Now, Special, obviously going into mass tanks. He wants to do a big push. Tanks hard to push with, though. He's at 8 factories right now, and he's building 2 more. Oh, guys, I talked about how bad his building placement was earlier. He needs to lift that starport and move that factory permanently. Yeah, really bad building placement. Of course, this map's not the greatest for it, but a bit haphazard due to the chaotic opening. He, dealing with the Stargate, he was kind of amped up a little bit, was Special, and didn't place his buildings quite right, but he does fix it before it becomes a major problem. And now you've got the Cyclone Hellion kind of kiting, but you've also got the tank. Scan. Oh, devastating shots from the tanks. Kill so many High Templar and Disruptors, and Geralt kind of wandering in, not realizing there was a tank line there, thought it was still a Cyclone Hellion situation. All the valuable units that were meant to be dealing with the Cyclone Hellion mass get taken out. He has to recall his Stalker Disruptor up here. This is so bad for Geralt. He's just got to keep using balls just to zone. Just to zone. Can't really do anything else with it. Those Stalkers just getting blasted. 85 damage a shot from those Crucio shock cannons. Is it called an Arclight cannon in StarCraft 1? I feel like it's called an Arclight cannon. Arclight cannon. You guys can tell me. I could be... Maybe that's a different thing? Arclight cannon. What is that from? Anyways, DT flank's going to come in. That sometimes is a game winner. DT... Oh, he shows it on the Cyclones, though. He doesn't have Blink anyway, so I mean, that's fair enough. Probably only wants to go 1 DT at a time. You don't want him all clumped up like this. Geralt's going to split those. He's losing the base in the top right. His gold base gets ransacked. Another 9 probes go down. Those DTs need to split up right now. Oh, the Disruptor's trying to drop some big balls. Gets rid of some Cyclones. He's going to try and break this position. DT's coming in from the left side. They're going to get scanned and taken down. He does morph Archons to tank. One Disruptor gets focus fired. The Stalker, Archon, Zealot. It's a big old Sanger. And Gerald will finally clean up Special's army. And that should be a game-winning move. Just kidding, guys. He is still down 50 supply against a 95 SCV 11 factory special. Who's like, yeah, I know mech's hard to reproduce and reinforce with, so I'm going to make 11 factories. And I'm going to remax in the blink of an eye. Tanks, Cyclones, Hellions, Thors. He's adding armor upgrades as well, which will be very important against the Zealots and Stalkers, make his units a lot tankier. Having a lot of tanks, but not a very tanky army, funnily enough. Ooh. Continuing that discussion about improvement, I know it's been kind of like a weird distraction throughout, but it's kind of, we're just beholding Gerald. Honestly, this whole game has been that scene from the start of Cliffhanger, except Gerald, rather than wearing gloves while climbing like an absolute fucking donkey, he's hanging on for dear life, and he's climbing back up. He's climbing back up. He's hanging there. He slips. He hangs on, and yeah. Yeah, Gerald, he's somehow staying alive. People saying, okay, so do you kind of compare the notes and see whether you reacted correctly and then modify the reaction? Always, guys, always. I mean, StarCraft's constantly, more importantly, it's about picking a reaction and then programming it. The hardest part of StarCraft isn't did I do the right thing, it's did I confidently do a thing. And usually, number one, you didn't do it confidently. You kind of half-assed 2 or 3 different things. Hold that thought, we'll answer that later. Oh my god! Big Disruptor, gets a tank, gets a Cyclone, still losing mining on his 5th base. You can see Gerald's thinking about taking a base down here because he just cannot mine off this gold. Disruptor gets another unit there. He's picking off Hellions, Cyclones one at a time. Stalker's just kind of hanging with battery overcharge, trading a little bit. Magfield says, get fucked. The Stalkers have to blink out. He's going to try and cut off the rally, but notice the tank line goes deep here for Special. He's going to try and spread those tanks down, and the Cyclones are such a mobile force. He gets 3 Cyclones. Oh, he should have thrown another zoning ball. Oh, he gets a giant ball on those Cyclones, but Special's so no fucks given at this point. He's reproducing so fast. Special's just like fight, 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 trade, trade, trade. You can never keep up with me. I have more Terran than you could ever imagine, dude. And this is a really frustrating style to play against. It's a smothering mech army. So yeah, guys, what you're trying to do, and this is what pros are always doing, is you're trying to confidently pick a reaction. Doesn't matter if it's perfect or not, and then you're looking at how badly you did that reaction or how inconsistent you were, and you're trying to just say, okay, what are the details to make that better? How do I do that better? A lot of people spend most of their time in strategy games obsessing over what was the right response and worrying about whether this is right or wrong. 90% of things, it's the confidence to work on refining something. It's about making it better. It's about not saying, is this the right sword? It's about just sharpening that sword and stabbing your opponent with it even harder. And that's the confidence a lot of people don't have because they want to make sure they have the optimal response. Often, there's a lot of debate about what the optimal response is. The important thing in a strategy game is there's many advantages. There's many tactics and strategies you can employ. Do them confidently. Do them in a way that has an inherent logic with what their goals are. You will become a much better StarCraft player over time. Cyclones, Hellions, tanks all sieging up. Big Disruptor shot clears out 2 of those front tanks. That's really good for clearing space. The Cyclones, though, are so bloody powerful, man. And I think even with the Archons being such a tanky unit, as the tanks start firing, they do start to fall. The Disruptors have gone down. Cyclone Hellion came down from the left as well. That's, of course, just down in the bottom left of our screen. He's going to kill that before it goes off. No, gets 2 Cyclones. Gerald hanging on like a champ, fighting from behind, but Special says, people said mech, hard to finish people off with. Not if you have 95 SCVs, 8 orbitals, 2 planetaries. That's right, guys. He has a full iron bank. He's also taken some of the middle bases on this map, the top middle base, and he just has swarmed over the top. +2 vehicle weapons coming in. So it's so funny because his upgrades aren't the quickest because he's going mostly Cyclone, but he got +3 weapons for the tank transition. He's now adding armor. And those aliens going to come in. Every probe is sacred. Every probe is sacred. But they're all dead. So, no, it doesn't really matter. The Church of Protoss can shut up because they are getting overwhelmed. Very beautiful play here by Special in this, guys. I'm really impressed. I love that Special mixes these styles in. Doesn't do them all that often, but he will mix in a BC mech, a Cyclone mech, a battle mech, and that was the most battle-y of all battle mechs. non-stop in the Protoss's face, and once he got the damage, gave him no room to get back up.